Hello guys, today is April's 8th, 1:11 p.m. Let's continue our A Christmas Carol book reading series. Mr. Fezziwig Ball. Mr. Fezziwig's Ball. When the clock struck 11, this domestic ball broke up. Mr. and Mrs. Fezziwig took their stations, one on either side of the door, and shaking hands with every person individually as he or she went out, wished him or her a Merry Christmas. When everybody had retired, but the two apprentices, they did the same to them, and thus the cheerful voices died away, and the lads were left to their beds, which were under a counter in the back shop. During the whole of this time, Scrooge had acted like a man out of his wits. His heart and soul were in the scene, and with his former self. He's corroborated, he's corroborated everything, remembered everything, enjoyed everything, and underwent the strangest agitation. It was not until now, when the bright faces of his former self and Dick were turned from them, that he remembered the ghost, and became conscious that it was looking full upon him, while the light upon its head burnt very clear. A small matter, said the ghost, to make these silly folks so full of gratitude. A small matter, said the ghost, to make these silly folks so full of gratitude. Small? Echoed Scrooge. The spirit signed to him to listen to the two apprentices, who were pouring out their hearts in praise of Fezziwig, and when he had done so, said, "Why, is it not? He has spent but a few pounds of your mortal money, 3 or 4 perhaps. Is that so much that he deserves this praise?" "It isn't that," said Scrooge, heated by the remark, and speaking unconsciously like his former, not his latter self. "It isn't that, spirit. He has the power to render us happy or unhappy, to make our service light or burdensome, a pleasure or a toil. Say that this power lies in words and looks, in things so slightly insignificant that is it possible to add up, count and up. Say that his power lies in words and looks, in things so slightly insignificant that it is impossible to add and count and up. What then? The happiness he gives is quite as great as if it costs a fortune. The happiness he gives is quite as great if it costs a fortune." He felt the spirit's glance and stopped. "What is the matter?" asked the ghost. "Nothing particular." "Nothing particular," said Scrooge. Something, I think." "Something, I think," the ghost insisted. "No," said Scrooge. "No. I should like to be able to say a word or two to my clerk just now. That's all." His former self turned down the lamps and he gave utterance to the wish. And Scrooge and the ghost again stood side by side in the open air. My time grows short," observed the spirit. "Quick!" It was not addressed to Scrooge, or to anyone whom he could see, but it produced an immediate effect. For again Scrooge saw himself. He was older now, a man in the prime of life. His face had not the harsh and rigid lines of later years, but had begun to wear the signs of care and avarice. There was an eager, greedy, restless motion in the eye, which showed the passion that had taken root and where the shadow of the growing tree would fall. He was not alone, but sat by the side of a fair young girl in a morning dress, in whose eyes there were tears, which sparkled in the light that shone out of the ghost of Christmas past. "It matters little," she said, softly. "To you, very little. Another idol has displaced me, and if it can cheer and comfort you in time to come, as I would have tried to do, I have no just cause to grieve." What idol has displaced you?" he rejoined. "A golden one. This is the this is the even-handed dealing of the world," he said. "There is nothing on which it is so hard as poverty, and there is nothing it professes and there is nothing it professes to condemn with such severity as the pursuit of wealth. You fear the world too much, she answered gently. All your all your other all your other hopes had merged into the hope of being beyond the chance of its sordid reproach. I have seen your noble aspirations fall off one by one, until the master passion gain until the master passion I have seen your noble aspiration I have seen your noble I have seen your noble aspirations fall off one by one, until the master passion gain engrosses you. Have I not? What then? He retorted. Even I, even even if I have grown so much wiser, what then? I have not changed towards you. She sh- she shook her head. Am I? Our contract is an old one. It was made when you were both poor. It was made when you were both poor and content to be so, until, in good season, we could improve our worldly fortune by our patient industry. You are changed. When it was made, you were another man. I was a boy, he said impatiently. Your own feeling tells you that you are not what you are. She returned. I am. That which promised that which promised happiness when you were that which promised happiness when you were one in heart is fraught with misery now that we are two. How often and how killing I have thought of this, I will not say. It is enough that I have thought of it and can release you. Have I ever sought release? In words? No, never. In what then? In a changed nature, in an altered spirit, in another atmosphere of life. Another hope has its great end. In everything that made my love of any worth or value in your sight. If this have never been between us, said the girl, looking mildly with steadiness upon him, tell me, would you seek me out and try to win me now? Ah, no. He seemed to yield to the justice of this supposition, in spite of himself, but he said with a struggle, you think not. I would gladly think otherwise if I could, she answered. Heavens no. When I have learned the truth like this, I know how strong and irresistible it must be. But if you were free today, tomorrow, yesterday, can even I believe that you choose a dollars? Can even I believe that you choose a dollars? Can even I believe that you choose a dowerless girl, you who, in your very confidence with her, weighed everything by gain, or choosing her, if for a moment you were false enough to your own guiding principle to do so, you had not know that your repentance and regret would surely follow. I do, and I release you, with a full heart, for the love of him you once were. He was about to speak, but her He was about to speak, but with her head turned from him, he resumed. He was about to speak, but with her head turned from him, she resumed. He was about to speak, but with her head turned from him. He was about to speak, but with her head turned from him, she resumed. You may, the memory of what is past, have you may, the memory of what is past, have made You may, the memory of what is past have makes me hope of you will. You may, the memory of what is past have makes me hope you will have pain in this, a very, very brief time, and you will dismiss the recollection of it gladly as an unprofitable dream from which it happened well that you awoke. May you be happy in the life you have chosen. She left him, and they parted. Spirit, said Scrooge, show me no more. Conduct me home. Why do you delight to torture me? One shadow more, exclaimed the ghost. No more, cried Scrooge. No more. I don't wish to see it. Show me no more. But the relentless ghost pinioned. But the relentless ghost pinioned him. But the relentless ghost pinioned him in both his, but the relentless ghost pinioned him in both his arms and forced him to observe what happened next. And what happens next is what you're gonna see in the next episode of A Christmas Carol book reading series. Till next time.